Hey, everybody, this is Tell the Truth Sports Radio. I'm your host, Ron Fitch, and I'm going to tell you the truth about the NBA playoffs this week. And we're going to start off with the defending champs. The Milwaukee Bucks won 116 to 100 versus the Bulls. They did. From the time they struggled, the first two games, they won one of them. They have adjusted to losing Middleton, and they shut down the Bulls, destroyed them all three games. Giannis was terrific, 33 points and 9 rebounds. But the underdog, Bobby Portis, 14 points, 17 rebounds. But the guy that's just like the engine is Drew Holiday. He guards everyone. He guards from 1 to 3 and even 4 because he's such a strong guard. He was only 1 of 7 from 3, but he gave you 10 points and 9 assists. And don't sleep on Javon Carter's defense, who had 5 steals. I love how the Bucks are playing right now. They're ready and primed to defend the championship. It's going to be a little difficult because I don't like the matchup with Boston. I'm going to tell you why I don't. Marcus Smart versus Giannis is going to be the biggest key. I mean, you're going to have Horford take his turn. I don't know if Theus is quick enough. But the guy that they're going to depend on because of his lateral quickness, he's Defensive Player of the Year, is Marcus Smart. Now, yeah, I make fun of guys say sometimes he plays hero ball, but he's a good teammate, number one, because he brought the Celtics together. He brought Jaylen Brown and Tatum together when there was issues this year, and they caught fire. They're the hottest team in the league. They're playing as good as anybody. They'll get a game in Milwaukee. Now, unlike the Bulls, the Bucks, if they have any chance of winning this series, is going to have to walk into Boston and win in TD Garden and win a game and try to get 5 and try to get 7. That's their only path, is to get it to game 7. If they get to game 7, I give them a slight edge at home. But Boston's goal is to finish them in 6. Split, wear them out in Boston, frustrate Giannis a little bit, show that the loss of Middleton will hurt them because Boston's a little deeper now, that the Middleton loss hurts, and get him out of there in 6 and get ready for what's probably going to be the Miami Heat. The Bucks are solid, but when the fourth quarter comes and you got Brown, you got Tatum, and Smart defending, when you have that dynamic against Giannis, Boston's going to really look to defend Giannis differently. They're going to dare Holiday to make shots. Holiday and Portis has got to be great at all times. And I just wonder, with that mid-range and that dependable shot with the shot clock going down that Middleton brings, could cost them in a much tougher series with Boston. Like I said, I expect Boston to win one of these games in Milwaukee. I'd be shocked if Milwaukee took the first 2 games. That's going to put all the pressure in the world on the Bucks without Middleton to go into Boston and to figure out how to win a game in the fourth quarter. See, Boston always wins other than the time I saw them lose against the Heat, Boston owns the fourth quarter in their building. The Bucks could beat Boston in their building only if everything goes right. Maybe because Bucks' defense is almost as good as Boston's. They're about the same. They're very good defensive teams. But Middleton defense, you lose some of that. Now you need Connaughton. Grayson Allen's not going to put up 27 points against Boston. That's not happening. Grayson Allen may give you a 3 or 2 3-point shots here and there, but he is not going to score like he did against the Bulls. And Boston's going to be a lot more tighter as far as their ability. Like I said, the ability to score in the half court in these playoffs are paramount. I just think that loss of Middleton, I don't think he's going to be ready for this series. The loss of Middleton is really going to show in spots. Milwaukee will battle because they're tough and they're battle tested, but it's 2-on-1 with the game. I mean, Holiday's going to have to match Jaylen Brown because you know Tatum's going to give you buckets. You know Giannis is outrageously good. He'll hit a couple shots. You can't do the great wall of Giannis anymore because he's an insanely good passer now. He just his ability to drive from that 3-point line to the basket and extend those long arms is uncanny. And he's pretty good at not drawing fouls. But Smart is good at drawing fouls. This is the ultimate matchup. Watch Marcus Smart and Giannis. It'll tell you all you need to know about that series with the Bucks. Giannis is going to get him. Smart's going to get a couple charges. Can they get Giannis in foul trouble? That would be really bad. Because if Brown gets in foul trouble, Tatum takes over. And that's tough. You know. And then Theus has been solid. Now Grant Williams is giving you 3-point buckets and toughness. Pritchard is solid. So I'm so curious to see this series play out. And are the Bucks built to play a super duper tough team in their element and be able to walk? Can they walk into ball? I know Boston could walk into Milwaukee and win because they have to, because they don't have the home court advantage. When the home court advantage is switched, can Milwaukee walk in there? And you always want to get, if you're a road team, you want to get those either 1 or 2 or 3 or 4. The home team is always vulnerable. 5, 6, and 7 are hard games to win on the road. And that spelled doom for Minnesota and the Minnesota-Memphis game. But I'm going to get to that. But I'm going to finish off the East. Miami took care of business and beat a game Atlanta team who battled like crazy. DeAndre Hunter is going to be the next star because he's got a jumper to go along with his defense's ability to drive. They shut Trae Young down. He went 0 of 5 from 3. He was a complete mess. I mean, 2 of 12. Miami is the best defensive team in all of basketball, bar none. It's like they had 6 guys out there. They were all over the place, and they defended. They didn't have Lowry or Butler. And now this is why I believe they're going to come out of the East over Boston, which will be a very tight series if that happens. They're going to be home. And Oladipo is the X factor. That's the guy that it's like adding an extra star player before the playoffs. And now you put him in there with a healthy Lowry and Butler. Watch out. I don't know who they're going to play next. I suspect, Philadelphia didn't show up, and they all talked about what happened. Philadelphia's going to battle. They're going to play and go for it against Toronto in Game 7 because you don't want to be up 3-0, lose 4 or 5, and then lose 6. Toronto's going to be great at home. The Sixers are going to put all their chips on the table and try to get them out in 6. So it wouldn't surprise me if Philadelphia took care of business. If they lose, you go to a Game 7. First of all, win or lose, get the security set up for Philadelphia. Add extra cops, add extra security, just in case they blow a 3-0 lead after what happened last year, because they're going to throw stuff on the court. They're not just going to boo. It's going to get ultra nasty, and they're going to turn on Doc Rivers. They're going to be like, fire Doc Rivers. It's going to get loud and nasty. They're going to turn on Harden. They're not going to turn on Embiid. I understand he got fractured hand. Embiid was the MVP this year, and he's been solid. But they're going to double Embiid, and they're longer. Siakam and now Scotty Barnes out there playing hard. Anunoby, OG Anunoby is balled out. He's long. He's solid. And we'll see. I mean, they just and my guy Precious Ochoa, my buddy that I interviewed. I'm going to put that out there on my show. I interviewed him a couple years ago. He's a Newark native. He battled out 17 points, and they're long. All of them are long, and they're giving Philadelphia, especially hard and all types of trouble. They better figure it out. Doc Rivers, you better figure it out. You don't want this going 7. If it goes 7, I mean, Philadelphia could finally figure it out. They're losing 3 in a row, and they could ball out. But in the case it goes 7, I expect tomorrow to be a close game. And whether Toronto or Philadelphia wins, I think it goes down to the wire. Both teams are going to be fighting for a chance to advance. If it goes 7, the Sixers have to get a lead and keep the lead. If Toronto has a lead, the fans are going to turn on Philadelphia, and it'll be as ugly as you've ever seen a home arena ever in your entire life. So I don't know if I want to project on the Sixers. I do want to see a 7th game just for the spectacle of it, but we'll see. Now, Dallas took care of Utah. I thought that. Luka, 33 points, 13 rebounds. They whooped them 102-77. That's going 7. Utah, I expect them to win game 6, and then Dallas wins game 7. Now, the biggest, and Phoenix beats New Orleans. Mikal Bridges was big. He gave Chris Paul help, who's been worn down by the defense of Jones and Alvarado. He's older. He had 22 and 11 assists, but he was worn down. He needed that boost. At 19 and 9 gave him, and Bridges the 31 and 4 from 3. I do believe New Orleans is going to win game 6, and that's going 7. I believe Dallas, Utah, Phoenix is going 7. Those two, we're going to get a 7-game series. And I also believe this next series I'm talking about is going to go 7-2. It shouldn't. Minnesota, with a 13-point lead in the second half, had a chance to set up getting ready to go to the next round, but they took bad hero ball shots after bad hero ball shots. Patrick Beverley gets a little weird and crazy, and Memphis grinded it out. And when Karl Towns hit that 3 to give them a 4-point lead with 1:46 left, you got to try to get that game home. They fouled Morant. Anthony Edwards had Morant on him, had to get a little closer, didn't. Took a 9-foot pull-up, missed. Morant was due. I knew he was going to hit that 3, even when he was missing. He misses. He scores 1-point lead, and then they get a stop. So now you get the ball with under 24 left, and D'Angelo Russell misses a tough shot. I would have went with Karl Towns with a little shot in the lane, or have Edwards score the ball and then gives you that 4-point lead and the game's over. But they took a bad shot, and then they score. Morant scores, and then he gets to the free throw line, and they're up 3. And then finally, with 3 seconds left, they actually run a really good play by Jordan McLaughlin. Makes a great pass to Edwards, ties the score up. But now that Patrick Beverley committed some stupid fouls, he fouls out. So your best defensive player on Ja's not there. And stupidly, Edwards goes for the steal, and Ja makes the layup, and they win. I do believe Minnesota will carry some momentum, that they played tough against Memphis and win game 6, but Memphis will win game 7 because Dillon Brooks and Bane did not play well and shoot it well. And this was an opportunity for Minnesota to steal a game, and they blew it. And when they go back for game 7, you're not going to have Brooks and Bane shoot like that. And Morant will play better. That's going 7. The Dallas is going 7 series, and the Phoenix series going 7. I believe all 3 of those home teams will win game 7. Now let's talk about the East. And I believe that the Sixer winner will lose to the Heat, and you're going to see Miami and Boston in the in the conference finals. I want to see what happens with Booker, because if Booker plays, I like the chances of Phoenix and possibly Golden State, but we shall see. Now, after watching this Golden State game in which they defeated Denver, this is a message to the Sixers. The Golden State wins 102-98. This is how you close a team out. When the other team wins a game 4 to extend the series and they're feisty and battling hard, you battle back. Golden State did not play its best game offensively or defensively. In the fourth quarter, they put it all together and really defended, because Boogie Cousins was annihilating them. He had a nice game at 19 points. He was going inside well. And I don't know if he's going to stay with Denver, but somebody's going to pick him up. He could be a really good asset. He's found himself. But Golden State battled back. They were losing the entire game. Denver was up 78-70. And from there, Golden State chipped away. Low-scoring game. People wouldn't think Golden State would be able to deal with a low-scoring game, but their defense is so good. The great teams play defense differently. The bad boys and the Heat played hard-nosed physical defense. The Bulls and the Showtime Lakers played good. They'll trap you. They get after you perimeter-wise. They take away some of the things you do they're physical enough. They're not as physical as the other teams, but they're physical enough to get stops without fouling. That's what Kerr believes in. He believes in that Phil Jackson kind of way. And that's what Golden State did in the second half. Now, Jokic, who had 30 points, was unguardable down the stretch. So Golden State eventually had to start making baskets. And Kerr getting doubled a couple times, they took away his 3. So what he did, he was able to drive to the left elbow and get all the way to the 10 with a couple left-hand layups. And that kept him going. But Gary Payton Jr. was the unheralded star of the game. Yeah, he had 15 points, but he had 3 3-pointers he hit. He shot it with confidence. His defense, they kept him on the floor in the fourth quarter. That's all you need to know about how he played. He defended. The Morris and Barton didn't even want to go around him. They wanted nothing to do with Gary Payton defensively. So now Jokic has got to be the main contributor. So now you're not getting any 3-point shots up. And that keeps Golden State in the game, and they were able to right the ship. And one of the biggest plays of the game with 1:06 left, Gary Payton hits a 3-point shot. The ball was being rotated. Draymond Green drives for a layup. He doesn't take the layup. I'm like, what are you doing? Jokic was at the rim, but he could have shot it over him for a layup. But he decided to give it back to Porter, who shovels it to Curry. Double team comes. Now Curry's got to give it to Payton. Shot clock's going down. Payton might take a 3, misses it. They could tie the game up or take a lead on the 3. He hits the 3. That was huge. And from then on, they were trading baskets. And then finally, Golden State got the stop they needed. Because of Gary Payton's defense, they ended up winning. And that's the key to their championship run. When you don't play your best, your defense takes you to victory. When the offense isn't clicking, they shot too many threes. They grinded out in the fourth quarter, stopped taking as many threes and start going to the basket. And that's Golden State's recipe. In an ugly, muddied up game, they still won. That lets me know they're built of championship mettle, even against a team with 2 really good post players that could pound you like what Denver did. That's good going forward, because they're going to have to be really tough playing against Memphis. Memphis really beat up Golden State this year in the regular season, but that's going to be a little different. They're going to have to walk into Memphis and get a game. Ja Morant's going to be coming after him. But I just like the fact that Golden State can get money buckets more than Memphis, because I'm putting Memphis in that next round. I can't trust Minnesota down the street. And Minnesota's not going back to. I think they're going to win Game 6, but they're not going to Memphis and winning Game 7. After blowing that, they had the perfect scenario to win Game 5. You're not getting a perfect scenario to win Game 7 because the others will show up. One thing Golden State's got to do is they got to box out Clark. Clark really hurt Minnesota. Clark is going to be the reason Minnesota's going home, not boxing him out. And Golden State's got to continue to box out like they did in the fourth quarter and make sure John Morant is a perimeter shooter as much as you can. And they have to make sure Bane doesn't get good looks and make sure Dylan Brooks doesn't get the good looks. The other guys don't hurt you as much. So they're going to have to get a game in Memphis and get them in Golden State. Maybe they have to go to they may have to go to Memphis and get a Game 1 and Game 5. Maybe they don't win all the games in Golden State. Memphis might take a game. So you're going to have to, and Golden State could walk into Memphis in a Game 7 and beat Memphis in Game 7. So if it goes to 7, that doesn't automatically favor the home team because they've been there, done that. And now you're getting contributions from even my guy Kuminga. You're getting Poole, who didn't have his best game, but Poole plays defense. He's a terrific passer, and you're getting great contributions. You know Looney's going to battle. Looney's not going to give you buckets, but he's going to battle. And the thing about Golden State, this is what really makes him great. Draymond Green is the hub and the center of it all. He's the guy that facilitates. He gets the ball at top of the key, sets that hard screen for Curry to get the ball. He'll throw that bullet pass to Thompson in the corner. He catches the ball, and he's always looking to pass. And they're daring him to shoot, but he won't shoot unless he absolutely has to. And that offense runs smoothly, and there's synergy there with the other players and Draymond. He's the key. He cannot get in foul trouble. If I'm Memphis, I'm like, we got to get him in foul trouble. It's not Curry. It's not Thompson. It's not Poole. It's Draymond Green's at the head of the snake. That's what you got to cut off. But Peyton's defense on John Morant is going to be phenomenal. There's so many great matchups going forward in the next round.